I started my company about 6 years ago. We called it Gen Y Inc. And we found that tenure in the workplace was shorter than it's ever been before. Nobody knew how to deal with these narcissistic, job-hopping, basement-dwelling millennials. So we thought, hey, you know what, maybe we can start a company that would help major enterprise attract and retain talent. We then built a tool that quantified workplace culture. So we put numbers behind the employee experience. You could be an accountant at KPMG or EY or MLSE or anywhere in between. And when you look at the 250 to 300 word job description, they all read the exact same. You could hold them up to the light and you could see right through them. And so we thought, hey, you know what? Knowing that the experience at these places is going to differ significantly from place to place, the life that we live as a result of the job that we take is going to be different, whether we go to a Maple Leafs game after work or we hit the golf course, or maybe we're working until 10 o'clock and we're coming in on Saturday morning to continue working. We realize that the job isn't just something that happens from 9 to 5 anymore. It's the life that we live. It's the relationships that we're a part of. It's literally the vehicle that we use to build a fulfilling and meaningful life. And we thought that, hey, you know what, when we look at the numbers, the recruiter is looking at a resume for an average of 6.25 seconds. The average white-collar job in Toronto right now is getting 250 applicants for every job posting that goes out. And our thoughts were, how does anyone find meaningful work when we've got this system that's heavily reliant on applicant tracking systems and brand and equity and the logo? So we thought, hey, you know what, maybe we can help these organizations understand what a best culture looks like for them. This looks like the hours that we're working, who we're working with, how often we're working, where we're working, how many emails we're getting per day, how many phone calls we're taking, how many hours of a day we're in a meeting, how many sales calls or client calls we're making, because we found that while there might be a best place to work for you or I, there is no universal best culture. I mean, that holds true here in Toronto too. The best place to work in Toronto, employee rated, is KPMG. The second best place to work is Starbucks. And so the problem, I guess, coming out of school or in a mid-career transition or anything in between is that, hey, all of us want to work for a best company. But I can suggest that the people that work at Starbucks wouldn't necessarily want to work at KPMG, and the people at KPMG wouldn't necessarily want to work at Starbucks. And so when we were able to quantify this employee experience, we realized that just because there is no universal best culture doesn't mean that each organization can't create a best place to work. And I think that when we look at workplace culture too, we found that culture, while a lot of us think lives at the organizational level, we found that culture actually lives at the team level. And on stage, it becomes a really empowering message for a leader to hear that while you might adhere to the mission, the vision, and values of, let's just use BMO, I can tell you that the traders are going to live a different life than the marketing team is going to live a different life than the human resources team, and so on and so forth.